Thank you, Mr. President. Wow, what a session. 5 very intense days, 5 very beautiful days. I cannot but begin by thanking you, Farah, and the entire team for this great work. I know many have thanked you, but I think from my part, I have to say that because I know how much my team has put into this. I know how much work there's been behind this project. I know how challenging it was at the beginning. So thank you very much. You've delivered on all fronts. Thank you very much also for the social moments. My voice is a consequence of those social moments. You had wisely thought that maybe at some point it has to stop, but we are also not always so responsible. So thank you very much. No, beautiful, beautiful organization. I'd like to thank all of you, all the members who have participated for your commitment to the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly, for the time you dedicate to the Parliamentary Assembly work. I know you're all very busy members of Parliament in your own national parliaments, but the time you dedicated to this Assembly is a testimony of your interest in geopolitical issues and your commitment to OSCE values. And as the President said, the spirit of Helsinki is also today the spirit of the Hague. So thank you very much. The Assembly has spoken. We have the Hague Declaration. It contains the directions, the political vision of all the members of the Assembly, the representatives of 1,300,000,000 citizens in this region that goes from Vancouver to Vladivostok. So we will make sure that your wishes, your will, your political indications is transmitted also to your foreign ministers who will meet in Lugano in December for the Ministerial Council. So the positions of the representatives of the public opinions of the OSCE region will be transmitted to the ministers very soon. Thank you, President Pons. Thank you very much, dear Pere, for your leadership. Since you took over the presidency in Porto to the Hague, this Assembly has gone through a year, a very successful year, I must say. A very successful year politically, a very successful year financially, a very successful year administratively. You have put Ukraine at the center of our attention. You have received, on behalf of the entire Assembly, also a recognition from President Zelensky of the work that we've done on Ukraine. I think we are very proud of the positions, the political positions of this Assembly, our unwavering support to Ukraine. Ever since 2014, it's not something that only happened after 2022, but our message is clear. Our message has no doubt given always support to the Ukraine. All the actions that we have taken on this dossier have been collegial actions taken in consultation with the Ukrainian delegation and the entire leadership. And for this, I thank you, President Pons, for your leadership, for your responsible leadership on this. You've been very active also on different fronts, in the Caucasus, in Central Asia, in Southeast Europe. We don't need to go into the details of all these visits that you've conducted, but the message is clear. Engage in all the areas where the OSCE is present with field operations, engage in all the areas where we can make a difference, engage in all the areas where the leadership of parliamentarians and those you have appointed as special representative of these regions can produce and give some contributions to solutions of challenges we have. We've been very present also on thematic issues, migration. We've heard the report. On fighting terrorism, on the PSTU. I think our Assembly really has given itself tools to deal with all these challenges in a plural way, in a very targeted way. And I think this is, of course, a number of activities which has increased throughout the year. This is, Mr. President, the record here in terms of activities, the highest number of activities that we've ever delivered, the highest number of members of parliament who have participated in all the sort of activities, statutory meetings, election observation missions, different conferences, work of the special representatives of the ad hoc committee. Never ever we've had this level of activities like this year. Mr. President, you've been very focused also on gender policies. You have delivered on that also in your appointments. And the plurality. You've made sure that countries who have never had elected leaders or appointed leaders now are also engaged in some of our activities, and for this I thank you. I'd like to work very closely with the new bureau, which is going to be elected today. Soon we will have hear the announcement of the 4 additional vice presidents, which will conclude our bureau. So we will work very closely with the bureau that will be starting its activities from this morning. I thank also the Standing Committee for passing the budget for next year. It's a budget which, of course, has a 4.5 increase, but as we know, there is a clear indication that 6% of this budget will not be financed by one participating state, namely the Russian Federation. So it will, of course, put us in challenging situations, but thanks to the work that Gustavo and Stephen and our treasurer have done on our finances, we will find ways to make ends meet and work with the budget that has been given to us. If we look at other parliamentary assemblies, the NATO Parliamentary Assembly has increased its budget by 10%. So maybe in the future we need to come up with solutions which are a little bit more ambitious. I've been tasked as Secretary General to come up with an action plan on how to overcome these challenges posed to us by the Russian Federation. My plan will be that we do not accept the blackmail that has been given to this assembly through the Russian Federation, and we try to become independent from this kind of financing of the 6% of the budget with our own resources. But I will come up with a plan that I will present in Andorra at the Standing Committee and later on in Vienna at the Standing Committee of the winter meeting. Few takeaways from this session. There's been unanimous, strong appeal for the return, the liberation of the 3 OSCE detainees, Dima, Maxim, and Vadim. Of this, I'm very proud. We've used our voice in every possibility, in every moment to remind that. We've hosted the families of these detainees. As myself, I've been a field officer of the OSCE for many years in the Balkans, in Kosovo, and I have been in war situations like our colleagues who are detained. I personally feel very much their pain, and I appreciate that for them, the voice of the highest level of the organization have spoken, and I hope that the Russian Federation on this will deliver. Another takeaway from this session is that it is clear that we need to have a serious and constructive look at our rules of procedure. I think the Bureau that has just been elected will have to have, sometimes in September, October, a reflection on what is the assembly that we want, how we want this assembly to function. I think under the leadership of President Pons, who has already presented a compact reform for this assembly called governance of the assembly, with his governance proposal and other proposals that have been circulated in this assembly, I think the Bureau should sit together, have a serious reflection on the long-term perspective of the assembly, and then produce a concept that can be later on translated by the Rules Committee and elaborated in concrete rule changes to make our assembly more efficient and more effective. Although, my opinion, this assembly is super efficient, super effective, and very much delivering on all the promises that we've made. I would like to also recognize the work of Gustavo Pallares, Deputy Secretary General. Gustavo has carried out all these sessions. Basically, Gustavo and I conduct the Secretary General. I don't know if there's anyone from San Marino, yes. A little bit like I Capitani Reggenti, we say in San Marino. You know, like, so Gustavo and I carry this assembly, sharing responsibilities, but carrying this General Assembly, the statutory meetings, is fully Gustavo's responsibility. Well, I mean, it's my responsibility with full Gustavo's credit and Gustavo's success in delivering on this. And for this, Gustavo, I'd really like that the entire Assembly recognizes your work. And through Gustavo, of course, the entire staff of the International Secretariat, many of you have praised their work. We have 25 members in the Secretariat. They conduct 71 functions. So each of them has 2 or 3 jobs. Normally in the OSCE governmental side, you have 1 officer for 1 job. Here we have 25 officers for 71 functions, and I think this is also a good sign of efficiency in the Secretariat. With this, I have 2 moments before I take questions later on, if there are any, to announce 2 things. En premier, je veux appeler ici sur le podium Pascal Alizard, sénateur Pascal Alizard, qui va laisser cette assemblée à la fin de septembre, je crois. Pascal Alizard a travaillé dans l'Assemblée parlementaire pour beaucoup d'années. Il a été vice-président, il a été special representative sur la Méditerranée, il est le président du comité sur les règles, il a été chef de mission électorale, special coordinator. Il a vraiment imprimé dans cette Assemblée une leadership calme, sage, qui nous a aidés dans un moment difficile. Donc, je te remercie, Pascal, et peut-être si tu veux dire un mot, si tu as envie de dire un mot, puis après je continue. Merci, Pascal.
Bien, Roberto, te remercier tout d'abord, non seulement pour cette initiative à l'instant, mais pour te remercier aussi, et au travers toi, l'ensemble de ton équipe, pour 12 années que j'aurais passées à l'Assemblée parlementaire avec des missions toujours passionnantes, intéressantes, et puis surtout une excellente collaboration avec toi, avec ton équipe. Je voudrais remercier aussi le président Pérez-Ponce et au travers lui, ses prédécesseurs. J'aurais travaillé avec 6 présidents successifs et je crois qu'effectivement, nous avons les uns et les autres la chance de participer à une assemblée ouverte, extrêmement représentative de la diversité de nos pays et de nos opinions. Et si j'avais un seul message, faites en sorte de conserver cela. C'est très important et peut-être encore plus important dans la période difficile que nous traversons. Voilà, pour moi, ça a été 12 belles années et merci pour tout et bonne continuation.
Merci bien, cher Pascal. Before I conclude, there is one very special colleague of the International Secretariat. Farah has taken away a little bit the suspense, but I will have to do this anyway, that I would like to acknowledge as she prepares to begin a new chapter after 20 years of extraordinary service to our Assembly. You all know Odile. Odile, please come to the podium, wherever you are. No, Odile. Odile. Where is Odile? Yeah. Where is Odile? There you are.
Je vais peut-être remonter à ma place.
Non, tu restes là parce que je dois donner quelque chose. Et elle est française. Ah oui. You all know Odile. For 2 decades, she has been one of the most familiar and reassuring faces of the International Secretariat, working behind the scenes, creating the spaces where we debate. Since its first annual session in Brussels in 2006, when Italy won the World Cup, Odile has organized, many things change. Odile has organized every annual session, every autumn meeting, and every winter meeting, taking us from Ulaanbaatar to Vancouver, from Marrakesh to Astana. Behind every successful meeting has been her calm, professionalism, dedication, and remarkable ability to solve problems before most of us even knew they existed. Odile, as you leave the International Secretariat, we want you to know how deeply grateful we are. You have been the heart of our conferences. Many call you the Queen of Conferences. On behalf of all of us, thank you very much for the extraordinary service, your friendship, and everything you've done for the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly. We wish you every happiness in the beginning of your next chapter, and we will always be part of the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly. Odile, thank you very much. We have a little present for you. And Pascal. Eddie. You want to take a quick photo? You want to say one word?
I can say a word, yes. It's, I think, the first time where I am allowed to take the floor. In 20 years, things happen. I will do it in my special English, but I could also do it in French for, my French interpreters who are doing a great job, who have been also supporting all the conferences. I think it's very important for everyone to be reminded of the work of the many, many people who are making it possible for you to gather in these marvelous, wonderful places. Each project has been a challenge and an achievement. It has been the opportunity to know fantastic people, to work with extraordinary people, to discover their work culture, to make friends. And I really hope that this friendship will stay even after I'm gone. I intend to visit all the 57 countries, one after the other. Hopefully, some will be accessible again before I'm too old to travel. Thank you very much for your friendship. I have been very touched by, your words of kindness and recognition. And please remember to thank your staff, your supporting staff, in your parliaments, in the assembly, everywhere, because they are here to make your work feasible.
Thank you. This concludes my report. Mr. President, back to you.